In this video, you're going to set up your free web hosting. So far, you made some really good progress. You understood the structure of a website and you built your very first website. But at the moment, your website is sitting on your computer, as you are using the file protocol, which is used by the browser to explore files inside your computer. What you would like to do, you'd like to place your file in a remote server so that people can access it from anywhere in the world. So that's why you need web hosting. The result is going to be something like this, where people just type a URL and can access your website from anywhere. So in this example, Facebook has got a file index.php, which is placed in the root directory of the Facebook domain. The extension of this domain is .com, and we can tell that we are using the root directory because straight after the / coming after the domain, we've got our file index.php. Now, we are using the HTTP protocol instead of the file protocol. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol and will allow the browser to communicate with the server and exchange plain text. Hyper or hypertext is referring to the fact that we've got hyperlinks which are referencing other text inside our text. Now the S, which you see there, stands for secure, which is just adding an extra layer to the transfer protocol so that when you are exchanging data between the browser and the server, it cannot be intercepted by somebody. So now before we set up the web hosting, we're going to understand the difference between a domain name and web hosting. To do that, we're going to use a simple analogy from a simple real-life example. So let's say that you'd like to buy a book from a bookstore. So first, you get the address of the bookstore, and then you try to find the bookstore, probably using a GPS. So if you find it, you will enter the store and look for your book. Now, depending on whether the book is available or not, you may take the book home and read it at the end. So this simple example can be converted to the example of a domain or a URL typed by a user to access a website. So what's happening is the URL has got a domain name and a file with the file location on the server. When you type this on the browser is going to look for the domain name first. Now the domain name is the equivalent of the address of the bookstore. So every single domain on the internet has got its own address. Now if we find that address, then we move to the next step, which is to check the file location on the hosting server. So we're going to check if this path has got a file called file.html as an example. If we find that file, then we're going to download it on our computer or download a copy of it and display it on our computer. And this is how it works. So to summarize, a domain is like an address on the internet. Web hosting is like a store or a storage area where you place all your files and your web pages. So when somebody types a URL with your domain and a path to a file, then the browser is going to look for the domain first and then look for the file afterwards in the web hosting. Now, you may buy a domain from one company and web hosting from another. That's absolutely fine. All you need to do is make sure that you point your domain to the web hosting you're going to be using by using the name servers and that's something we're going to come back to in a bit. Now, just a couple of comments. The error that you might find here, if the domain is not found, is going to be returned by your internet provider, because the internet provider is the one trying to find the domain or the address for you. At this stage, if the file is not found, then you're going to get an error from the hosting server instead. Alright, now you are ready to set up your free web hosting. So to do that, you just need to go to the Complete Web Hosting website, register, and then log in. So I'm already registered, so I'm going to log in using Facebook. And then you just need to go to Services, Order New Services. And here I'm going to go for the Platinum package. Alright, so now it's going to ask you to choose a domain. So at this stage, we chose a web hosting package, which will help us upload files to a server and also manage different things like databases, emails, and so on. Now the domain, again, is going to refer to our address on the internet. So you can either register a new domain if you don't have one, which will make you look really professional when sharing projects or work with clients or potential employers. If you've got a domain already that you bought with another company, you can transfer the domain. All right. If you don't want to transfer it, you can just point the domain to the Complete Web Hosting's name servers. And we're going to come back to name servers in a bit. Now, if you don't want to use any of those options, you can just use a free subdomain from this website. So you will need to find a subdomain which is available. So I'm going to try code.ofucode.co.uk. So let's see if this one is available. All right, perfect. So this one is available. Now we will need to enter a promo code to turn the price to 0. So you just need to go to the completewebhosting.com/students.php. So if you click on URL, then view public profile, that's your URL. So just copy it and paste it right there. Now if you click on passcode, just make sure you are logged in or still logged into Udemy. You'll get your passcode. So just copy it and paste it there and click on get voucher. And that's your voucher. Just click on copy voucher and validate code. All right, so now the price has turned to 0. Just click on checkout. So just leave everything as it is and complete order. Congratulations, you have just set up your free web hosting. So now if you click on continue to client area, you will see your domain or subdomain right there. So normally you will see only one service. Well, I've got 2 because I had one before placing this order. All right, so in the next video, you're going to explore different features of your hosting package, and then you're going to use a tool which will allow you to exchange files between your computer and the server.